Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sudra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavadyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ukarastvandakaro Vai Drukarastvannivartakaha Andhakara Nirodhitvad Guru Vidya Vidiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvadaya Vidyave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketa Let's read the last verse on page 4. श्रेयश्च प्रेयश्च मनुष्यमेतः तौ सम्परीत्य विविनक्ति धीरः तयोः श्रेयो हि धीरोऽभिप्रेयसो वृणीते प्रेयो मन्दो योगक्षेमाद् वृणीते So just one remark we want to make about this Shreyas and Prayas is that Prayas is the happiness, apparent happiness that appears to be coming from the sense objects or source other than myself, and Shreyas is the happiness that we gain from our own self. Lord Krishna describes these two kinds of happiness, or those sources of happiness, as Rajasam Sukham, Sattvikam Sukham, the Sukham, happiness arising from Rajas, as compared to the Sukham arising from Tamas. So describing the Sukham arising from Rajas, Lord Krishna says that happiness which arises as a result of the contact of sense organs with sense objects, meaning that the happiness which appears to be coming from anything other than myself. It may be at the sense level, emotional level, intellectual level, ego level, whatever level. It is Rajasam Sukham. It is the happiness which is born of Rajas. Yet to the great Amrutopamam, Lord Krishna said that Sukham or happiness feels like very sweet in the beginning. Yet to the great Amrutopamam, again in the beginning, Amruta like nectar, like very sweet. Pariname Vishamiva, but that which results into Visham or something very bitter. So that which begins as though it is very sweet, but ultimately turns out to be something very bitter. Is happiness born of Rajas or born of the contact that we have with the objects of happiness? Understand that our happiness comes from different levels. The grossest level is the sense objects, and so what you call the sensuous happiness. Second level is at the level of emotion, emotional happiness, which we get in company of people who are dear to us. The intellectual happiness. Happiness comes when there is gratification of intellect. You learn something new, you see something new. And finally, the happiness that comes by gratification of ego. When I get power, when I get name, fame. You can say that each following happiness is perhaps subtler than the previous happiness, but we get happiness at these different levels. However, one characteristic about them is that happiness comes from a source other than myself. So it begins as though it is very sweet because it is easy to get. Gratification, immediate gratification is something easy. But then that happiness is binding happiness. Because any object which gives happiness has this diminishing utility, meaning that same thing and slowly ceases to give me same quantum of happiness. And for the same quantum of happiness, I need more and more of that thing. 1 cup of coffee was enough for me, then I need 2 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee. Secondly, it is binding happiness, meaning that I become more and more dependent upon that source of happiness. Ultimately, I get addicted to that. So there is bondage involved there, as well as the diminishing return involved there, and there were more and more effort involved there, which ultimately reaches a point where the same thing fails to give me happiness, same effort fails to give me the same satisfaction. So Lord Krishna says this results into unhappiness, bitterness, sorrow. On the other hand, yat tadagre vishameva pariname amrutopamam, that which appears rather bitter in the beginning, but turns out to be sweet at the end. There is a happiness, atma buddhi prasadayam, the happiness that comes from the prasannata, from the purity of one's own heart, purity of oneself. So that is his second way of getting happiness, is when I am essentially tapping happiness from my own self. So there is choice of trying to tap happiness from things other than myself, where in fact it is not. And that's the reason why it ultimately results in disappointment. Other is tapping happiness from my own self, which is the real source of happiness. And so to summarize this, as our Swami would say, that there are these two attitudes. One is the attitude of being consumer, who always consumes, is seeking to be gratified from things outside of oneself. Other is being a contributor, one who contributes to the happiness of others. So becoming happy by eating and becoming happy by feeding, there are two ways. Except that being a contributor is when I contribute, seek to make someone else happy, I tap that happiness from myself. There, of course, there is infinite store, inexhaustible store, and at each step I discover freedom. At each step I become more and more bound, dependent. Here at each step I discover freedom. Atma buddhi prasadaya. That clarity of the heart, the purity of the heart leads to ultimately the knowledge of the self, which then gives me the infinite happiness. So this is Shreya and Preya. Shreyas, the happiness coming from the self. It seems to me rather difficult in the beginning because it requires me to withdraw my mind from its preoccupation with the external objects of happiness and make the mind inward looking. That is a great effort. Because just as the water from the river flows from higher level to lower level and into the ocean, similarly also, this flow of my mind, the thoughts of my mind, they emerge from the source heart and through the sense organs they run out. There seems to be an easy way for them to flow, except that all the energy is just wasted away. But that's easy. Looks like doesn't require any effort. The same now we have to put a dam. So in the river, you have to dam that river. That's where the water gets accumulated and then you can use it into the creative channels. And so also you need to dam that energy or the flow from our mind and its outward flow which is habitual, not natural, habitual. It has to be slowly checked and then the mind has to be directed inward. Looks like something very difficult in the beginning, but very rewarding at the end. I should not even say at the end. It is rewarding right away. It is rewarding at every step. One step that I take for tapping happiness from myself, one act of giving happiness, one act of kindness gives me immediate satisfaction. It's drishtafalam. In fact, when I am seeking happiness from objects other than myself, there is uncertainty whether I will get it or not and when I will get it. On the other hand, when I perform one act of contribution, which is an act of kindness, which is an act coming out of compassion, coming out of a sense of offering, it immediately taps that happiness and I feel the satisfaction. Whenever I perform a small act of kindness, I feel satisfaction that I've done something right. Which is true, because that is when I am conducting in keeping with myself. When on the other hand, I am trying to extract happiness from elsewhere, I am conducting in a manner which is opposed to myself and thereby full of conflict. Here on the other hand, I am reaching out. That whole attitude is in keeping with my true nature. Because just as I want somebody to be kind to me, somebody also wants me to be kind to them. And therefore, when I treat others as I treat myself, then naturally there is a harmony within myself and that results into happiness. So there is Shreya and Preya. But Dhiraha, this requires to tap happiness from within myself requires first of all an understanding, a viveka or discrimination as to where the true happiness is. And number two, a preparedness to slowly check the extrovertedness of my mind and make a concerted effort to make the mind introvert. That is why dhira, that requires a lot of effort. And that's what we call the spiritual life. So what is spirituality? This is spirituality when I am tapping happiness for myself. What is called material thing, samsara, is when I am seeking to be happy from things other than myself. One is a sure path of success, other is a sure path of failure. Interestingly, one of our friends sent me a little cartoon, this afternoon. Cartoon movie called Ice Age, It's a cartoon movie where squirrel is trying to get an acorn, which is a nut, a round, hard nut, which thing could not actually hold in its mouth. And you try to hold it, and you lose it, and runs away because it rolls away. You chase it, rolls away further. It's a very funny thing, but really shows what happens to this. What Lord here the Upanishad says, Mandaha. Manda means a non-discriminating person. A non-person just does not realize. He just cannot get hold of it. Seems to come and then he loses. Seems to get it and loses. This is how the happiness is, which is coming from other sources. It's a very interesting thing. Having said that, now we proceed with the next one. As we see that in the next one also is not the direct upadesh or teaching of the nature of self. The teacher Yamaraja seems to consider it necessary to instruct about the fine tuning of the mind. So Vedanta explains that there are three obstacles to knowledge. One is called mala, second is called vikshepa, third is called avarana. Mala means impurity. Vikshepa means the distraction or disturbance or restlessness. And third is ignorance. Ignorance certainly goes by knowledge, for which the means are shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. Listening to the teacher, reflecting upon that, and meditating upon that. So that is the means of knowledge, which removes avaranam or the veil of ignorance. But before that, there are these two obstacles called mala and vikshepa. Mala means impurity, and vikshepa means the distraction or restlessness of the mind. So our mind, which is where the knowledge has to take place, mind is where the ignorance is, and which is where the knowledge has to take place. So before the knowledge can take place in the mind, this preparation is required that the mind should be essentially free from mala and vikshepa, impurity and restlessness. And therefore Vedanta prescribes these two means. For what is impurity? Raga and dvesha, meaning attachment and aversion, are usually the impurities summarized into this two. You can say kama, krodha, lova, craving, anger, greed, etc. So all of those impulses are called impurity. First step is to become free from those impurities. And for that, the means is karma or karma yoga. Karma yoga is performing karma, the duty, with the attitude of a contributor, as we just talked about. So that is that whole process of reaching out, which is called contribution, is conducive to elimination of raga and dvesha. Because raga means attachment, also makes me a consumer where I want to grab, and dvesha or aversion also makes me a consumer where I want to grab, a grabber. Attachment also requires you to grab, and aversion also requires me to grab. Attachment means I cannot do without something. So I should have that something for me to feel happy and comfortable and secure. Aversion is that which threatens my happiness or security, and I must get rid of that. So these two always keep me busy. In either grabbing something, getting rid of something, both of that of the nature of grabbing in one way or the other. And therefore they make me a consumer. And therefore, in order to get rid of this impurity in the form of the raga, dvesha, or attachment and aversion, I must deliberately adopt an opposite, a neutralizing attitude, which is the attitude of being a contributor. Yoga Shastra calls it Pratipaksha Bhavana. If you want to get rid of one thing, then counter it. So grabbing is one attitude. It's countered by the attitude of giving. And so, this is what Lord Krishna teaches about yoga. By that, I progressively get rid of, drive away this raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, the impurity. This has to be done, by the way. It won't happen automatically, it has to be done. Secondly, then, some mind's habitual restlessness. Even mind doesn't have much impurity, sometimes, meaning that mind's inability to become focused on one thing. It has a habit of jumping from one thing to the other, one object to the other, one thought to the other, and therefore we require another kind of a means to make mind focused, and that is called upasana. So karma is a means of removing impurity, upasana means meditation. Here meditation is mental worship, understand? In Vedanta, meditation means mental worship. So that requires me to focus my mind upon the object of worship. It's called meditation. And that brings about the ekagrata, single pointedness or focus of the mind. So we require two things. This Kathopanishad itself says later that even though myself is Brahman, limitless, happiness, unfortunately that Atma, the self, does not reveal itself in that manner. That's the whole problem is. If this Atma reveals itself as it is, there is no problem. It is a witness of watching, that I am struggling for happiness. It doesn't say anything. Like the 10th man is struggling to search for the 10th man, and 10th man is his own self. Doesn't say I am yourself. You have to make it say. He's fully sleeping. Like in the morning I told you the story of Lord Vishnu sleeping on his serpent bed. He is of no use, useless for us. You make him active. Meaning that he must take incarnation, become actively favorable to us. Sleeping there, he is not opposed to anything. So this God is not opposed to anything, is not of any use to us. It is good, there's a transcendental God because he doesn't oppose anything. We have to make him favorable to us. It's a very important thing. Must make this God favorable to us. And for that, the means is what called bhakti or devotion. So it's a devotion that makes an impartial God partial, an impartial self partial. Impartial, right now, I'm doing right thing, it illumines. Wrong thing, illumines. This Atma, consciousness, witness, illumines everything. Every thought is illuminated. So I must make him partial, opposed to what is evil and favoring what is divine. So as Lord Krishna says, who is in incarnation? Paritranaya sadhunam, the one that protects the virtuous, vinashaya dushkritam, and one that destroys the wicked. Then only he is useful to us. We're always attacked by these wicked forces, and therefore we need protection. Wicked forces are not out there, within our own self. All these demoniac tendencies, all these fellows, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, the craving, the anger and greed, these are all my inner enemies. And I need protection against that. So that's why we have to make Ishvara favor, or Atma say, favorable to us. And that's why worship. So worship is present, worship, bhakti is presented as a step leading to knowledge. So for Vedantins, bhakti or devotion is means to knowledge. For the bhaktas, the knowledge is means to devotion. Both are pursuing both, but there is a difference. For bhakti means that those acharyas or teachers who teach bhakti, devotion as a means of moksha, for them knowledge becomes the means of bhakti. Knowledge leads to devotion and devotion leads to the knowledge of God. Here, bhakti or the devotion leads to knowledge and knowledge leads to moksha. So therefore we find that step also has to be covered. As a ideal teacher, Yamaraja wants to cover that step. In case the disciple or the student needs some preparation. Although Nachiketa perhaps does not need this preparation in terms of bhakti or meditation, because he appears to be already prepared. But in general to cover, therefore here, Yamaraja gives the Upadesha or imparts the teaching of what is upasana or meditation. And for meditation also, shows here the method of meditation. So let us read the next verse on the page 5. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padam Amanante Tapamse Sarvani Cha Yat Vadante Yadichantaha Brahmacharyam Charante Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravime Om Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravime. The last line says Tatte Padam. What is it? Padam. See that goal, Tatte Padam. Look at the translation. That goal. Bravimi, I will introduce Sangrahena briefly. In brief, I will tell you about that goal, that end. What is that end? Self. Call it Brahman, self. That's the end. So here the teacher Yamaraja says, I will tell you about that end, the goal. It's called Padam. This word we often encounter in Vedanta. Padam is that which is reached. Padam also means a certain level, of achievement, even in hierarchy. So here, Padam is the highest achievement, that which is to be reached, or that which everybody seeks to reach. If you remember the 15th chapter also, Lord Krishna used that word, Padam. Tatah Padam Tat Parimargitavyam Yasmin Gataha Nanivartanti Bhuya. Lord Krishna says that having gained that preparation of the mind, namely vairagya or dispassion, then one should seek that Padam, that goal, reaching where there is no further reaching involved. Gacchante Amura Padam Avyavantat. Amura, those undeluded, Padam Avyam Gachanti. They reach that Padam, they reach that goal, they reach that end. So in the 15th chapter, Lord Krishna used that word twice. In this Upanishad also we'll see, also use the word Padam. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. That abode or that goal which is the nature of Vishnu, all pervasive. So Tat Padam, that goal, that end, you can say that truth, which is the self. Self or Brahman, which is the truth, which is also the goal. In this case, the goal is achieved by knowing, because it's already my nature. Ignorance is what separates me from that, and therefore knowledge becomes a means of reaching already what is my nature. So about Atma, which is what Nachiketa had asked for. Nachiketa asked, is there something, a self that is other than this body, mind, sense complex? What is it that transcends the righteous and unrighteous and past and present and cause and effect? So that's called Padam. So that which is limitless, infinite, which is the goal, which is what every human being is searching for, knowingly or unknowingly. Everybody searches for that. Everybody wants that limitless only. Because we are born with that desire. We have not created the desire to become free or become free from all limitations. When we say that I am seeking to become free from all limitations, I mean I am seeking to be limitless. And it is not something that I have willed to do, it is something that I find myself desiring. Say in the morning, is the desire behind all the desires. So that limitlessness is Padam, about which Nachiketa asked his teacher. Sangrahena Bravemi, He Nachiketa, I will tell you about Padam, that abode, that goal, that limitless self, Sangrahena, in very brief. In one word I will tell you. But before saying that, the teacher here glorifies that goal. It is not an ordinary thing. So, how great it is, how wonderful it is. So, he is extolled here in the first three lines. Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amanandi. Amanandi, profound. Sarva Veda, all the Vedas. It is that goal which all the Vedas, where Veda stands for all the scriptures. All the scriptures of the whole world. Even though they may give different names, every tradition may give a different name to that. You can call it God, Allah, Jehovah, something, whatever you call it. You call it ourselves, you call it Brahman. Jam Shiva Sumupatase Supasade Shivamiti Brahmeti Vedantina Bauddhaha. So there is a verse which says, the Shivaha, the followers of Shiva, calls him Shiva. The Vedantins call him Brahma. The Bauddhas call him Buddha. The Jains call him Arhat. The Mimamsakas call him Karma. So all of they call him by different names. What it is one Hari, one Lord. He is called by different names by different people. But ultimately all the religious traditions, they all propound only one in their own way. I am not saying that the way they propound is the same. The way they propound may be different, and so we will have different opinions. And the method they propound for achieving is also different. But what they propound is the same. Rightly or wrongly, what they propound, our Swami would say all religions do not lead the same goal. That's true. But all religions seek the same goal. Because that's what every human being is seeking. That's called Padam. That's called the goal. That's the destination. Sarve Vedaha. It says all the Vedas, in fact, in one word, or all of them, in fact, Amanandi, Sarve Yat Padam Amanandi, all of them profound. Not that one Veda says one thing and other Veda says other thing. This is also what the scholars say, by the way. You know what the scholars say? Every Upanishad says different things. They think that Upanishad, this is all the Vedantin fellows who just ramrodded and say that everything says is one thing. And that was done by Badarayana, who wrote Brahma Sutras, where he says that Brahma is the subject matter of all the Upanishads. But this is all, your biased view. Those who have an open view, unbiased view, an objective view, they find that the Upanishads don't talk about the same thing. I shouldn't tell you much about that, don't confuse you. But what I'm saying is that this is not the opinion shared by everybody. Because they are so-called impartial, the professors and academicians. And so they have no identification or anything, they're objective. Meaning that they don't have any opinion of their own, objective. But Lord Krishna himself says here that all the Vedas in fact talk about only one goal. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padam Amananti. So, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All the Vedas, all the Upanishads say that. So, Sadeva Somya, I call it sometimes called Sat. Atma, Vaidameva, Ekagra, some is called Atma. Sarvam Khalidam sometimes called Brahma. Same Padam, same goal, same end that all the Vedas talk about. So here Veda means Upanishads. All the Upanishads teach about the same truth. But understand the Vedas have two sections. One is called Karma Kanda, other is called the Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda means the section dealing with rituals as well as meditation. And Jnana Kanda is the final section dealing with the knowledge. And that itself is called Upanishad. That alone is called Vedanta. So Vedanta means Upanishads, and Upanishad same as Jnana Kanda, the section dealing with Jnana or knowledge. So Upanishads and Vedas are not different. This is Vedas and Upanishads. You don't have to say that because in Veda, Upanishads are included. Upanishads are parts of Veda. But Veda has Upanishads, meaning the section dealing with knowledge, as well as karma. So what about karma? What about the rituals? So are the rituals, so the rituals that or the karma, the various duties that the Vedas and the scriptures prescribe, do they have any connection with that goal? Say yes. Tapams is sarvani, yad vadanti. All tapas here means karma, the duties. You see, living life of duty is, tapas actually means penance. But living life of duty is life of penance, which everybody knows. Those who live life of duty, those who are devoted to performing that duty, doing what is right, whether you like it or not. Most of the time, what is right is generally not what you like, or is not convenient, put it this way. Most of the time, what is right is not convenient. But then, when you are wedded to doing what is right, whether convenient or not convenient, you do, and therefore in doing what is right called duty, generally people have to put up with a lot of inconvenience, and amount of pain and deprivation. Because there is an older brother, yes, Swami, our older brother raised away. That's how, There are 5 siblings. His elder father died and then they were young, and so this person took the responsibility and educated all the rest of the siblings and got them married, got them settled. He himself didn't get married. Or whatever, I'm just an example. The idea is that to perform a duty, you have to let go, you have to be deprived. So this sense of deprivation, it's all inner pain, That pain itself is, tapas means pain. And therefore, so tapamsi, all the duties which the Vedas prescribe, also ultimately are meant, that tapas, that pain that you go through brings about inner purification. So pain that you go through in performing duty, in doing what is right, in which case you have to give up what is convenient, and therefore suffer from whatever inconveniences and deprivations are involved. Because duty means that the need of other person is more important than my need. If I am the son and have duty towards my father, then father's need becomes more important than my need. And therefore, I have to work around my need to suit them. And then we hear from people, Swamiji, well, we have to, go to our son or daughter-in-law called us. Here they need us to take care of the children. Okay, go from here all the way someplace there, for spending a week to take care of those things. In which case they have to give whatever they are doing here. It all involves, it's all demanding thing, but the people do that. People come all the way from India to the United States, their children want them, come here, take care of our children. We took care of you. That's not enough. You took care of us, now you take care of our children. That's how people are demanding. And then poor parents, they say, all right. And women always like having grandchildren, so that works out all right. So they're happy with them. The man have a problem. This man has to be dragged along with this woman, But anyway, so this is the usual story. So here the word tapas is used, penance is used, meaning that life of duty is the life of penance. Because all kinds of duties are there, duty towards the rishis and duty towards devatas and duty towards the parents and duty towards your guests and duty towards other members of society, and you are duty bound over the whole world. And every day you must do something, as an offering to all this. And then if something remains, then you can partake of that. It's called tapas. Meaning that one need not do anything separate you need not go to forest for performing tapas. That's what usually people do. In the Puranas we hear that the rishis go to forest and live the life of tapas. But this is life of tapas, of a householder. Anyway, so here Lord Krishna, Yamaraja says, tapam srijat vadanti, that all the karma, the duties also are ultimately meant for what? For purification of hearts, wherein there arises a desire for knowledge, and thus also it leads to knowledge. So whereas the Upanishads provide a direct means of knowledge, the karma provides an indirect means of moksha, but they also talk of the same thing. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, yadichantaha, desiring which, brahmacharyam charanti, they practice in life brahmacharya. So brahmacharya is explained. So Brahma means Veda. Brahmachari means one who is committed to study of Veda. It's called Brahmachari. So Brahmacharya means also continence, but Brahmacharya also means a life devoted to study Vedas. Now there are studies of two kinds. First level of study is when you go to the teacher to recite the Vedas, and then so Veda teaches us two things, Dharma and Brahma. So as the child is growing up, then you send this child to Gurukulam, to the house of the teacher, a school, and residential school those days. It's interesting how in the Vedic times the children were sent to residential school. Very important, so that they're not pampered. At the home, they're always pampered. It's not atmosphere of study. Go there. And so, not only that, but then everybody is equal there. Prince is the same, and then pauper also is the same. All of them are the same thing. They were taken care of, no doubt. But then all of them had the equal kind of treatment. No television, no distraction, nothing. Only devotion to study. That's called a brahmachari, life of student whose only aim is study. That of course is quite different here, and now study is one of the things that youngsters do, and there are so many things they do. Then not only that, but the politicians involved in all kinds of political activities, and so a lot of activities are going on there, and activists are there. I have nothing to say about it. The point is that there is a student is one who is devoted to study. It's called Vidyarthi. Arthi means one desirous of Vidya means knowledge. But anyway, so first level of brahmacharya is when you go to the teacher to study the Vedas. Second level of brahmacharya is when you go to the teacher to gain the knowledge of Brahman. That's second level. So they are the senior people, they are grown up people. Others are children. So two kinds of diksha, two kinds of initiations are there. First is the initiation that a child has for studying the Vedas. Second is the initiation that the Guru gives you for studying the Upanishads. And so here brahmacharya means the life of the student. You become a student again. And that comes as a result of a lot of maturity. As Mundakopanishad describes, Parikshalokan, Karmachadan, Brahmana, Nirvedamayat. When a Brahmana means a contemplative person, Pariksha, when he deliberates upon his life and realizes that all the attainments and all the gains and all of them are limited and cannot give me the limitless which I am seeking. Tad vijnanartham, and therefore that limitless has to be known, not something to be attained. So karma cannot be the means, jnanam, knowledge is the means. At some point in time, this emotionally mature person recognizes, if you live the life of dharma, which is conducive to inner purification, then this happens. As the mind becomes sattvic, then the values change. And formerly, when the value was of enjoyment and achievement, now in the same mind now there is value for knowledge. It becomes a contemplative mind. It sees what I am seeking is a limitless. It recognizes that nothing can give me that limitless. A limitless is not to be gained or achieved, it has to be known. Therefore, that whole pursuit of achieving the unachieved transforms into the achieving what is achieved. From karma, he comes to jnana. So then when there is desire for knowledge, you should go to a place where the desire can be satisfied. Tad vijnanartham sa guru mevavigachet. For gaining knowledge of that, he should necessarily go to a guru, he must go to a teacher. And submit himself to the teacher. Surrender to the teacher. Sit at his feet and learn from the teacher. It is called life of brahmacharya. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, desiring to know which, these aspirants live the life of brahmacharya, meaning life which is devoted to the study of Vedanta, study of Upanishad, study of scriptures. Upanishad themselves describe this brahmacharya. See, in the olden days, don't think that just because you go to the Guru, that he starts lecturing and something. They didn't work that way. Like Yamaraj, they did not oblige right away. He asks for self-knowledge. Doesn't mean that he right away starts giving discourse of self-knowledge. He really tests him and sees whether he is fit or not. So Gurus are also like that. And so there is a story, famous story in the Chandogya Upanishad, when two very great people, one whose name was Indra, he was king of gods, other whose name was Virochana, the king of the demons, independently approached Prajapati, Brahma, the teacher, because both of them independently heard that by knowing the self, you get all the job pleasures, you attain all the worlds, you conquer everything by knowing the self. You always want to conquer everything. And there was self-knowledge and you want to know the self. So both of them, without informing each other, independently went there and then found themselves, confronting each other. So they are both arch enemies. But there they gave up their enmity. But they were not right away invited by the teacher. They lived there for 32 years, life of penance. How many years? 32 years. And you, Gurukulam means there are no air conditioners and no such stuff there. It's already modern that here they ask you when they apply for attending a retreat, do you have air conditioning? Yeah, this thing, do you have that thing? Yeah. But as Ashavidya Gurukam had 25 years ago, that was all those run down cottages were there. A lot of mold was there, lots of mice were running around. Because I lived in that for 10 years. I was very comfortable, I never complained. They changed it, that's alright. But anyway, the point is, it is a life of penance. He said, because they say that Vidyarthi cannot have sukham or comfort. Where is comfort for the student and where is study for the one who has comfort? Meaning, comfort and pursuit of knowledge never go together. That's what the ancients used to think, So, Brahmacharya, that's a life of penance. So Indra and Virochana, both of them were big, great kings. You can imagine the amount of luxury. They gave up everything and lived just a life of brahmacharis, to penance and service to teacher for 32 years. Then Prajapati calls them, what's the purpose of your coming here? So, sir, we have heard that one who gains knowledge of self gains all the world and gains all the happiness. That's why we have come here to seek the knowledge of self. So, Prajapati, the teacher, gives them an instruction, which both of them get. I will not go into the details, but then that instructs the way the instruction about the self was given required you to really understand that the lakshyartha, meaning the implied meaning, and not vachyartha, the direct meaning. And these fellows, both of them understood directly. You know what Prajapati says is, the person that is seen in the eye is the Atma. Yesha Akshari Purusha. The one Akshari means eyes, the Purusha, the person that is seen in the eyes is the Atma. So each one looks into the eyes of the other, because you can't see in your own eye. What do you find? Yourself. So what's the conclusion? That this body is the Atma. That's what the teacher said. Now we have learned what Atma is. Both of them went away satisfied. And Virochana, the king of demons, went and that's what he taught to his people. That's what the great grandsire has said. That body is the Atma, therefore you must fatten the body, you must worship the body, take care of the body, etc. etc. So that is life. So Upanishad describes that that's what today also when these fellows die, in their in that coffin or whatever you call it, there are all kinds of ornaments and food and things, This is what they do. That's what Upanishad says. That's what we find in all the Egyptian mummies. Exactly the same thing. So that is Virochana, cult of Virochana. Indra also, then he was walking back and he started thinking, wait a minute. The Atma apahata papa vijaya vimrutyu, the Atma is supposed to be sinless, supposed to be free from death and old age, hunger and thirst and grief and delusion. And this cannot be. This body cannot, by knowing this body is the Atma, I can't become immortal. That's not right. Something is not right here. I went back and reported that this is my question here. What you said, sir, that what is seen in the eyes, then the body is the Atma, doesn't seem to be right. That by knowing this, so if this dies, then I also die. If this becomes blind, I also become blind, Atma becomes blind. What's the point in this? No, this Atma. I don't see any benefit in this. You are right. 32 more years. And then another instruction is given. Yesha swapne mahimana charati. The first was given the instruction about the waker, second given instruction about the dreamer. There also only by implication he was supposed to understand. For he took it literally. I understood what Atma is. And on the way, fortunately starts thinking that, hey, wait a minute. it is true that by death of this body, that fellow doesn't die, the dreamer doesn't die. When this one becomes blind, doesn't become blind. When Nidya says cough and cold, he doesn't have that. But at the same time, I find that fellow, that Atma, sometimes he is attacked and sometimes he is crying and sometimes he is feeling all kinds of sorrow. Knowing that Atma, how can you get immortality? I don't see any benefit in that. Comes back. He reports, well, you're right, 32 more years. And then the instruction is given about the deep sleeper who gets lost. So that the sleeper. So understood. He says, wait a minute, yeah, that is true, that this fellow doesn't suffer from cough and cold and this and that. So meaning the problem that Waker had, the dreamer had, the deep sleeper doesn't have, it's true. But he gets lost as it were. He doesn't know himself, doesn't know anything. He gets lost, he becomes non-existent as though. What's the point in knowing an Atma that as though becomes non-existent? I don't see any benefit in that. Comes back and reports. You're right, 5 more years. No, only 5 years, thank God. Because the teacher recognized that he was more or less pure. So how many years? 32? 32? 32 and 5. How many is that? 101 years. Who? Indra, not you and I, Indra. So brahmacharya, yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, desiring that he did not get discouraged, one thing. He did not give it up. He did, what do you mean 32? I already did 32 years. How can you ask me to again 32 years? No such questions. We will fight. Again 32 years? Again penance? No. 32 years? Okay, sir. Another 32 years? All right. 5 years? As you wish. Let's go Shraddha. The mind doesn't question the teacher. He is confident that he only means well of me. There is no agenda through me. Only agenda is my well-being and my liberation, and therefore he has confidence in the instruction of the teacher. And finally, in the 4th time, he got the knowledge. Turiya. So, waker, dreamer, sleeper, and the 4th one, that is the Turiya. Anyway, so here, that is what is referred to here. Lord Krishna says, desiring which the aspirants live the life of brahmacharya. Tatte padam sangrahena bravimi, that padam, that goal, that destination, sangrahena, in brief, how brief? Just in one word. What is Om? So here, teacher Yamaraja gives instruction about the meditation of Om. As a step in between, in case some refinement was needed. The commentator Shankaracharya explained that for Manda Madhyamadhikaris, so the Adhikaris meant the aspirants, they are divided into 3 categories. Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Mandadhikari. Uttamadhikari, the highest level of aspirant, like Nasiketa. Madhyamadhikari, the middling one, who needs to become free from the restlessness of the mind. And lowest adhikari who has to get rid of both mala and vikshepa. So lowest of the aspirant is one who needs to get rid of the impurity as well as restlessness, who needs karma yoga and upasana. The middling one is one who essentially mind is more or less pure, but who needs to create the concentration for upasana. And then third, for him the instruction about knowledge. And therefore, the meditation. Same verse, so several verses from Kathopanishad appear in Bhagavad Gita with slight changes. So this verse, similar verse occurs in the 8th chapter of the Gita, where Lord Krishna, in a way, it's called Anuvada, reiterates this verse. So, Om. And this is something very well known in the Upanishads. That many Upanishads in fact prescribe the worship or meditation upon Ishvara with Om as the symbol. Pratika, in fact, Yoga Shastra talks about Omkara, it's called Pranava. Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. Yoga Shastra says that Pranava or Omkara is the name of God or Brahman. Here the teacher says Omkara is Brahman. Yoga Shastra says this is the name of Brahman. Because the name and the one of whose that name is, they cannot be separated. Name is called Nama. And one who possesses that name is called Nami. Name and named. So name and named cannot be separated. Meaning that you cannot think of one without the other. When I utter the word pot, immediately a picture of pot will flash in your mind, meaning that the word pot and the form pot, both of them go together. So when I utter the name of a person, Narayana, if you know that person, then automatically that name brings out in the mind the one that the name stands for. So this is an amazing thing. We cannot separate the word from the meaning. Vagarthaiva sampraktau, vagartha pratipadyate. Jagatah pitaro vande, Parvati Parameshwaro. This great poet Kalidasa says, Jagatah pitaro vande, I salute the parents of the universe, who are the Parvati Parameshwaro. Parvati and Parameshwara, Lord Shiva, I salute them. Who are the parents? Parvati is the mother and Parameshwara, Shiva is the father. So how are they related? Vagarthaiva sampraktau. Vag means word, artha means meaning. Just as the meaning and word and the meaning always, they are never separate from each other. They are inseparable, so also are inseparable. Oh, Parvati and Parameshwara. I salute them. Why do you salute them? Vagarthaiva sampraktu, vagartha pratipatte. He performs a prayer. Oh parents, oh mother and father, oh Parvati and Parameshwara, please grant me that as I am composing this work, that the right words and right meanings come to my mind. The words I know, but the words must use the right meaning. Vagartha pratipatte, for knowing the meaning of the words, I pray to Parvati and Parameshwara, who are related to each other like the word and the meaning. Meaning that they are inseparable. So that word is the name. Meaning is the one who signifies, who stands for that name. So here Om is a name and is a name of Brahma, Ishvara or God. Brahman is the Nami. So Om and Brahman are inseparable. If you know a person such as Rama, then the moment you utter the word Rama, then automatically the one that possesses the name comes. So, like when you talk to each other about our friends and things, and that are the name, automatically the person who stands for that name comes in your mind. So that is the reason why Om is prescribed here. They repeat Om, Om, Om. Since Om is the name of Brahman, therefore Om becomes a means of meditating upon Brahman. You meditate upon Om, but that is like meditating upon Brahman, because Om and Brahman are inseparable. But Swamiji, I say Om, but nothing happens. There is no Brahman. So that's a very practical question. When is a pot, then automatically that object comes. So mango, then the object comes. When I say Devadatta or whoever XYZ, then Sridhar and the name comes. When the Brahma, it doesn't come. So why even when I say Sridhar, then immediately the person Sridhara comes in my mind. Why? Because my mind is prepared. They say that we have samskara, the preparation in the mind. The samskara or preparation form of the language and preparation in form of knowing that person. So when that preparation is there, then only the word can reveal its meaning in the mind. A word may reveal its meaning provided the mind is prepared for that revelation. If you use an unknown word, it will not reveal the meaning. Like in the olden days, only Gagabogan. Unknown doesn't reveal any meaning because, so for the word to reveal the meaning, a lot of preparation is required. Since there is in our mind preparation of the language, it's an English language. So thus when the mind is samskaras or the preparation of a language, in this particular case, then the word reveals the meaning. So word reveals the meaning only in a prepared mind, not in any other mind, not unprepared mind. So even if you utter a Sanskrit word, though, when somebody doesn't know that language, that word would not be nothing more than a sound. So right now, Om is a sound. So what should you do? There must be samskaras. What samskara? The purity of mind is required. So which is a mind in which this word Om will reveal itself as Brahman. What you want is, when you utter Om, it should reveal itself as Brahman. That requires the preparation of the mind, which also is done with Om. So Omkara then is both ways. You keep on repeating Om, meditating upon Om, meaning mentally you repeat Om, 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 Om. Not just a meaningless sound, but you impute a superimpose of meaning upon that. So in my mind, Om stands for Brahman. Om stands for the Padam or the ultimate goal, Brahman or the self or Ishvara. So when I utter Om, then there is also in my mind a bhavana or an attitude that this is. So in the beginning there is attitude which culminates into knowledge. So first I repeat Om, Om, Om with the attitude that it is Brahman. By doing it for a long time, as a purification of mind happens, then ultimately that word reveals its meaning. So attitude ultimately culminates into knowledge. It's a process. Attitude culminates into knowledge. Therefore Lord Krishna prescribes an attitude. What's Karma Yoga? Performing karma with attitude. What attitude? May the Lord be pleased by my karma. So I have an attitude that I'm doing something for you, the Lord in this form. I don't see the Lord, but I have an attitude for the Lord. By doing that for a long time, that attitude slowly gets transformed into knowledge. That is why karma comes first and jnana comes later. Karma, yoga means yoga of attitude. Attitude comes first and then is ultimately culminates in knowledge. The attitude also can be called bhakti. So bhakti comes first and culminates in knowledge. Meaning that with devotion, that this is Bhagavan, Omkara. You repeat in your mind, meditate. That itself then becomes a means of purification. But Om has that. It is prescribed by the scriptures, and therefore it has that potential. It has that power, if you want to use the word, or that purity or divinity, that even though in the beginning we don't feel anything at all, but as you keep on doing it and doing it, it slowly becomes more and more real to us. So Om, that's why here Yamaraja prescribes the meditation upon Om. We'll continue tomorrow. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।